Good afternoon. Usually it's good morning, right? It's good to get out there on the afternoon. We didn't have class today, so push back practice helped with some recruiting too and getting some guys here. But got really about the same number of plays in as we did last scrimmage, which is about 115 or so. And kind of split it up about a little over 50 for each, the ones and twos, and then the rest with the three. So very similar structure to last time. Got a little bit more red zone in. Battled through a couple injuries at one position, particular tight end. And I know in a week you're going to see these guys or not see them out there. Just kind of reporting Josh Cuevas. He'll be good for the fall, but he'll be done for the rest of the spring. And then Marshall Pritchett. So the tight end position went from, kind of lean at one point just with not all the guys are already here at that position. Caleb Edwards, isn't here yet. And with Danny Lewis not practicing this spring. So thin there. So offense, defense working together to really try to get the looks we want. Try to make the most of, some substitution, things like that put guys in certain spots they're not used to being in until all of a sudden today. So that just happened earlier in the week. But otherwise, got I think what we needed to get done. Continue to get the quarterbacks reps, mixing and matching different groups, especially on defense. Keeping those guys fresh, a lot of guys playing and rotating. I think this is a time for us to really take advantage of, the guys that were already not in spring ball and then a couple more that I just mentioned for us to build that depth, to understand exactly what we have. We know what we got on the top with guys who have put a lot of snaps in, out of Brian Denny for us here wearing a Bama jersey. But there's also a lot of guys that we continue to build that depth because we know that's going to be important as we go through the long SEC season. So, you guys got questions?
Start with Charlie on the far right.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Just what did you see from the quarterbacks today, and how have you gone about maybe splitting up those reps between the three?
Yeah, it was, I don't want to say it was even across the board, but they all kind of got their shot with the ones and twos, especially just because they're older. Keelan's doing a great job, but with Ty and Austin, Keelan definitely works in with the twos. He'll get one reps from time to time, but that's no indication of really where we feel he's at. He's killing it, doing a great job. You can see when he's out there, he's getting more and more comfortable moving the ball down the field. When there's a throw to be made, he'll make the throw, that's for sure. So just the learning curve, I think, that comes along with being young, but those other two guys, a little bit more, as far as understanding the offense, and you're trying to continue to install things, and they have a grasp of the basics from day one, so you can do just a few more things. But, they're all three, making throws, making some big-time throws. I thought they all moved the chains at times when they maybe had their backs to the wall, maybe some second and third and long situations where they found a way to make a big throw. Obviously, someone's got to catch it too. There's just, I think, continue to got to be trust, I think, with the offensive line, and then it's got to go the other way too. The offensive line just getting used to cadences and getting used to, what that guy does. Does he usually break to the outside and scramble? I mean, some guys just have those type of instinctual things they do, and they're all a little bit different. But receivers, I think it really doesn't matter who's throwing to them. I think all three of those guys throw a catchable ball. It's just a matter of who can move us up and down the field the best.
Chase from left here.
Yep. Blocking was an area where Isaiah Horton struggled last year at Miami. Can you just remark on how he's done in that regard this spring?
Well, from a physical standpoint, it shouldn't be an issue, right? So it's a mindset to me, and it's positioning and understand where we're trying to get the ball to. So I guess it hasn't been anything that I've seen ever in feeling that it's a deficiency in any way. So he's physical presence out there in every way, catching the ball, breaking tackles, those type of things, and it carries over to blocking. In fact, I can think of some drills earlier in spring where he excelled at it. So I think it's a lot of it's understanding of what we're trying to accomplish, the teaching, and then the want to, of course, I think is a lot of it.
What have you seen from Richard Young both today and so far this spring?
Yeah, he's more of a physical back. Got his carries today, just like the rest of them. Want to continue to see him just grow. I think a big offseason for him this summer is going to be important. He was working through some injuries last year. I think we're through that part with the winter phase. I think all of running backs in general, breaking some tackles, making more explosive plays. They're not always going to have this wide open, parting of the seas. It's, creating and getting off of just Rich, but, he's part of the running back core. And so I think finding times when they can, get their yards when they need to and put their head down, I think that's a strength of his. And I think as a core, as a group, they can all try to do just if they can get us a little bit more when maybe the perfect blocking isn't in place, which is going to happen, right? When you're playing an SEC game in particular, it's hard to block those dudes. And so you got to make some things happen. And I want to see the whole group continue to improve and, yards after contact, making people miss out in space and not letting that first guy bring you down.
Tony, front right.
How have you seen Ryan Williams, kind of progress throughout the spring, and then just with his skill set, can you kind of get him at multiple positions, like slot and outside as well?
Yeah, we didn't have Ryan scrimmage today. Just taking care of him. We know what we have there. He might not do much the rest of the spring, and there's a couple nicks and things like that. But if you asked him, he'd be out there and scrimmaging. He's dressed up and ready to go, but just being really careful with some things he's going through here the last week or so. Yeah, we can definitely. He's a versatile guy. He can play any position, inside, outside, field, boundary. It doesn't matter. And you got to make sure that we continue to give those opportunities down the field, the things you saw a year ago, explosive play opportunities, but also a lot of it's just getting the ball in his hands. I can think of some even bubble screens and things like that we did a year ago that he just created on his own. Obviously, we got to block for him, but we're going to move him around. And I think that's one thing our receiving core gives us. Germ and Isaiah can do much of the same thing, and that's what you really love is have versatile players, running backs that can line up and do some things out in the perimeter, tight ends that can play and be flexed out, they can motion in, put their hand down. You want the same thing receivers, guys that can play inside and outside.
Front left here with Auburn.
Hey, Kayla, there's been a lot of talk about Ty's increased leadership. Quay was talking about, leaders being named or assigned this spring, and Ty was one of them. And I'm wondering, is that an indicator for you guys about a quarterback decision, or what have you guys seen?
No, I mean, that leadership group was voted on in early January. So it was before spring even started, and I would expect Ty to be on that. He's been here, vested a lot. I would have voted for Ty to be on that in January as well. So he does a great job, really, taking advantage of knowing the guys that are on the team, helping them. He's obviously got to take care of his business, and he does. So we ask guys to be leaders, and then when you take care of your business, bring someone with you, and he does a great job of that. I think the other quarterbacks continue to do it in different ways. Keelan does it with his presence. He's not probably going to be as vocal yet, just hasn't been around long enough. And Austin's kind of in there as well, has really, because of the confidence and the things he's done, especially the middle half of last fall, where he started really kind of showing the effort and energy that he would bring the team. I think he's gained a lot of confidence being a leader as well.
So we got 2 questions left. We'll start with Nick here, right in the middle on the left.
Yeah, with Keon Saab and Demai Jackson out, more opportunities for younger DBs. What did you see from some of them today?
Yeah, they continue to be that group. I guess just backtracking here. First of all, Keon. We just continue to get the feedback and reports. It's been super positive. Even today, another positive report, probably as positive as we've had, and we expected that. But just exciting for him to be able to get going and keep taking those steps when you get to those benchmarks and going on to the next level. So he's on track. He's on pace. It was quite an injury, that he was coming back from. And, the fight, I'm never going to question that because, maybe some of you know, but last fall, what he worked through and the way he sacrificed himself, the Tennessee game in particular, that 2-game stretch there leading up to it, it got a lot of fight, and people respect him. I do too for that. But yeah, the younger guys, they don't feel like younger guys. I mean, that's across the board. The 18 guys that came in, early enrollees, I don't see them as freshmen anymore at all. They've really gone out there, and the defensive backfield a year ago at this time, thin, new faces, knew we had to get more faces in. Not sure. I mean, I think we had one returning starter or one returning corner on scholarship that returned from the season before. And that position group, I think, is both corners and safeties together have really kind of reconfigured and are playing extremely high level of football. They're seeking out, they're hunting the ball, they're confident. They love it when other guys make plays. They're excited for of course the plays they make, but it's really cool seeing Mo Lindquist, Jason Jones really gel that whole defensive backfield together and go out there and a takeaway is an expectation for those guys really every single play.
I'll finish up with Joe right across.
Coach, kind of on that same track, but with the inside linebackers, with Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson out, how have you seen veteran Nikai Hill-Green come in and assert himself, and then with the young linebackers behind him?
Yeah, there's some real young guys, the three freshmen. They're going to be really good players. We ask a lot out of that position. They're the ones there that wear the earpieces, make the calls, and now going into year two, we're even more diverse than what we were, and putting a little bit more on their shoulders, kind of taking those next steps as a defense with the concepts we're putting in, refining some of the things we did last year, adding to some of those things as well. Abdul, Luke, Duke, all three of them, making plays out there, running sideline to sideline. That's one thing they do best. And then, QB is a guy that's out there directing traffic, and he's had a really good spring as well. So I'm proud of the way those guys have just taken the bull by the horns and rolled with it. And then Justin and Deontay, their leadership and their engagement with these guys has been something I just got to make a note of, because they remember being that age, the ups and downs that you can go through, and they are right in there every single play. If a big play happens, Justin in particular, because he can go run out there, he's got as much excitement as anyone when those linebackers in particular make a big play. All right, thank you guys.